Welcome to the Business Lounge. I'm Blair Jacobs. It's the part of the website where we try and give you a bit of background into those who are really successful in any form of business and industry, not just about the business that they're in, but the story behind the person. I'm delighted that Linda Crossland-Clarke from She Knows Health and Safety is with me in the studio, and it's very good to see you. And
thank you.
You have an extraordinary story to tell, don't you? Because I think you're probably, some would say, almost the antithesis of a health and safety officer.
That's
a trike riding girl who doesn't wear a helmet.
Correct.
Who puts her lipstick on at the traffic lights.
That's right.
Anything that any health and safety officer would say, you can't do that. We'll talk more about the business in a moment or two, as I say. But tell me about you and where you all started, because you spent some time in the Falklands, didn't you?
That's right, yeah. I was actually one of the radio DJs down there. Loved the job. I had to come home because end of the posting. Came home, got 2 kids, both under the school age. What am I going to do? You know, I'd trained to be health and safety. You can't do that. You can't have a career in health and safety on a part-time basis. Very, very difficult. So I decided to go self-employed, and I looked at the childcare options, $1,200 a month to put my kids both into, you know, like full-time childcare. And I got seen at the job centre, and I went on New Deal for self-employed. So I'm a product of government funding.
So how did you get from the government New Deal, when they were clearly training you, which was a great thing for you, and they were looking after your children and things like that? How did you get from that to starting She Knows?
I started off, just went as a sole trader, became She Knows Health and Safety.
So you did that straight from the New Deal project,
Yeah,
did
straight
you?
on it.
You didn't go any other,
No, you were allowed to
health and
trade
safeties?
for 12, 13 weeks as test trading. And still have the funds that came in and paid for the childcare. So you'll have to give it a shot, and if it didn't work, you'd just sign back on. Because I'd been out of the country, I wasn't only getting tax credits, I wasn't actually getting the dole, as we call it. So I just made a go of it there, and I just wrote around to companies, consultancies that already existed, suggesting that a female could cut certain ice where maybe a male consultant couldn't, and then looking at other training companies and saying, well, do you want somebody part-time? And there's always cases where people want something but they can't afford staff. So if you've got your own insurance and you're competent at what you're doing, whether it be a plumber or a training officer, something like that, then you can help out. And I just took steps in bit by bit by bit.
So you were a woman in a very male-dominated area?
Correct, yeah. And my business plan was aiming to go and hit the hairdressers, the officers, the females, because I figured one-to-one it'd go down well.
And did that work?
No, completely wrong.
Why?
Small businesses, they don't want a high depth of safety knowledge. They just want a bit of friendly advice, and maybe I'll buy you lunch as a repayment. They can't afford straight away that big commitment, and that's why your business links and smart, your government funded companies are there to assist them.
So what was the catalyst then? What was the part that made you think I can do this now?
I sold myself to deliver a course where I'd helped somebody out because somebody had gone off on sick. They never paid. It was one of those things you think. But somebody on that course invited me onto ConocoPhillips. I did a presentation there. We were pushing the MVQs in health and safety, because a lot of the guys that they've come up through tools, they don't want to be academic. They don't want to go back to college. If they're doing 12-hour shifts, they haven't got time to do that and all the homework. So we focused on doing the MVQs based on site. So I'd be on and off ConocoPhillips and then Centrica, and then these contractors go somewhere else, and then I'm getting a call from Sellafield. So then I go up there and more contractors, and then they go somewhere else, and it just spread out like that.
And are you now where you want to be, or have you got further things to do?
I like what I do. I think it's fantastic. It's so annoying that when you have staff, if they go sick or their holidays and things like that, so you still end up getting dragged back in. But I'm always one that would get bored if I did the same thing all the time. So the fact that one day I could be in a board meeting doing something, but the next day I'm walking around site with the boots on, or I'm doing some training, it's that variety all the time. I do kick myself sometimes when I'm getting the calls from abroad and the children are stood there looking at me going, can you tell me how to chop the cucumber up? And you're trying to multitask, but you're doing it for them as well. It's just having that balance.
So where would you want to be in 5 years' time?
5 years' time, somebody wants to buy my company, I will quite happily consult on it. That'd be great.
Is that what you want? You want to build it up, sell it, enjoy the rest of your time with your children?
At some point in time, I've got to give more time to the kids. I want to be the mum that goes to cub camp or helps out with guides and does other things as well, but not does it with no skills.
What size is your business now?
At the moment, we've got about 15 employees. 2 years ago, we did a lot of work on one of the shutdowns on the power stations, and we had 35, nearly 40 staff. So it does depend on the local economy.
So you contract in and contract out as you need to?
Yeah.
And so the 15, are they full-time?
They're the core full-time employees.
And do you want to build that number, or do you want to keep the company that size but just build a number of clients?
It'd be nice to have a few more in. So we've got a few more specialities, because we're getting inquiries to do British accredited training abroad. You know, Africa's asking for, you know, firefighting, mines rescue, things like that. And while as we can do that, then we'll leave the skeleton crew here a little thin. So if we could have a few more, and just, because it's a novelty for people to go and work abroad, they don't want to do long-term contracts all the time. But, you know, it is something different to go out and spend a couple of weeks over in Zambia or Dubai or something like that. And it keeps people fresh, interested. They're comparing different levels. Employees that we've actually taken on in the past, we advertise with the job centre. We're advertising for accounts person at the moment because we're getting busy again. We need more assistance there. But because I've come as a product of an unemployed background, we always go to these people first. You know, whether it's Probe, Latitude, the probation service. You know, we say to people, right, come on, I will take you on. I'm not paying you for the next couple of weeks. Let me see how committed you are. Because you could take 15, 20 people in a room and maybe only 2 of them will last the course. And I think, well, if you can invest your time in me, I will train you for free, I will put some information forward. And it's not the mandatory training that you've got to do with health and safety. I like to upskill people and diversify them. And then even if they can't match the hours, or they have to go somewhere else because they haven't got a car and they can't get public transport and things, then they've left us as a marketing tool. They've gained personally, but they'll say to other people, no, she sorted us out, wasn't a problem.
How do you find the best way to recruit?
Again, word of mouth, knowing people. You know, you sit down and you put adverts out, you speak to people, but unless they come in and do something, you know, I just don't think the CV and the qualifications actually always ring true, because it's a personality thing. You want to run a team and you want to run a family business. And you're creating a family, because it is a small business. So if it doesn't feel right, it doesn't matter how good they are, they won't last. It's got to be gut instinct.
Well, continued success with the business.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Linda, very much indeed. Thanks for watching. Join me again when I'll have another guest in the Business Lounge.